folks, welcome back to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. Now I'm going to return to the tune Khosid Dance, a klezmer song. Now I've already done a beginning version of it, and you should watch that first if you don't know the tune. I'll put a link for you in the comments field below. So in this video we're going to learn how to add some variation. I'm just going to suggest some ideas to you. Take it all as suggestions. Take it or leave it. See what you can learn about the process of variation. So the first thing we're going to do is, the tune starts on A, the basic version. So a very kind of cool and somewhat straightforward way to add variation is to just transpose up or down an octave. We're going to transpose this down an octave, all right? So we're going to start it on G1. Now, I'm just going to play you the entire tune in the lower octave. And I'm going to include some tabs for that. But I'm not going to go into a note-by-note, step-by-step teaching of it. I'll leave, what I'm hoping you do is you learn the basic version that I already have done, starting on open A. And learn it really, really well. And then transposing it down will be kind of easier then. And in fact, it'll be a nice challenge. I recommend or challenge you to not use the tabs, to more just use your ear. But if you get stuck, go ahead and use the tabs. So here's the entire tune played an octave lower. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go back to the basic version starting on open A, but we'll add different kinds of embellishments and ornaments to it, mainly grace notes, turns, and slides. Okay, so we're gonna vary this version. I'm just gonna play you a version with my kind of suggested variations, and take all these variations, in fact, as suggestions. Just ideas for you to use in your practice, and so you can learn the process of variation is more what I want you to get. You don't have to, you can do it note for note. What I ultimately want is for you to understand how this works so you can take any tune and do this with it. All right, so here we go. My variations on Khosid Dance. Okay, so let's start with the first quarter. And what I'm going to do is play the basic version and then play the variation version for you. And just keep in mind that a very good practice with a good rule of thumb for adding variation is to take it away. All right, so you say you're working on a variation idea, then go back to the basic version so you can kind of get a sense if that variation is working. So maybe it's cluttering the tune, or maybe you just don't like it, or something, I don't know, or maybe you need to fine tune it. And so doing that will help a lot with adding the process and learning the process of variation. Anyway, so let's look at the first quarter of the A part. So the basic version was okay, and so I'm now going to play it with my added variations. So for the first thing I added was on right before that A3, I added a grace note going from 4 to 3. There it is in slow motion. All right, so. Okay, so now let's loop on that very slowly so you can practice just that one little thing. All right, so now the whole first bar sounds like. Okay, and then that's followed by the basic version of the second bar was. And now it sounds like. So we're going to start with a grace note going from low 2 to that E1. And then we add a 16th note triplet. Open, low 1, open, A3. And I slur together the first 3. So the whole second bar is. Alright, so I'm going into quite a bit of detail and doing it slowly because the variations I show you in this first quarter are just repeated a lot. And so, anyway, here's the whole first quarter again with the variations. And so, like I said before, taking away the variation is a really good idea and comparing it to an earlier, to just a simple version. So what I'm going to do now, and what I encourage you to do anytime you work with variation, is to play a simple basic version, and then without missing a beat, do the same little phrase with the variation, and then making that a continuous loop, or play it in a continuous cycle. And it'll really give you a sense of what's working. And then maybe as you do that, you'll take away or add little things until you get the phrase right. Okay, so let's loop on that right now. A part, first quarter, starting with the basic. Variation. Basic. Variation. All right, so cool. Let's move on. The basic version of the second quarter was. And so I'm going to start that with a grace note, low 2 to 1 again. And then another. It's kind of like the way the first quarter ends. And then for this part, you can just add a grace note at the beginning of that. I added low 2 going to that E1. But you could also add 3. It happens so quick, you can almost add any note. There I added low 4. Alright. And then I'll play you, I'm going to add another thing that I didn't do at first, which was, I'm going to add a 16th note triplet, low 1 to low 2 to low 1 to end that. Pretty nice, I like it. So the whole second quarter with these variations is I'll do it even slower. Okay, very cool. Let's move on to the third quarter. Third quarter is the same as the first. All right, in the fourth quarter, the basic version was, I'm just gonna do just a grace note at the beginning. And you could slide that last third finger. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. Okay, so now I'm gonna play the entire A part very slowly with the variations I added. Okay, very good. I'm saying very good, I'm like patting myself on the back. That's ridiculous. But actually, I'm really, when I say very good, I'm picturing you, earnest student at home, practicing and doing it. So that's what I'm just kind of saying that to you, actually. So very good. All right, now let's see, let's move on and look at the B part variations. So the first quarter was, basic was, so the first and third quarters are the same. And I think in the first quarter my variation idea is just a slide. A nice slow slide. So you can just practice the slide a little bit. Take your time, just do one note, then try a bar. Go into this slowly. You could stay with that for a long time. Second bar, basic was low 2. You can slide into that. Okay. So, very slowly, the whole first quarter variation. Okay, and then the second quarter was, that was this basic version. Now I can add something like, so I added a grace note of it's actually mordant, low 1 to 3, back to low 1. So I have, good, okay. So the whole second quarter. Okay, so not much added there. Third quarter is really the same as the first. You could do a slide. Again. But what I did is just something a little different. I'm doing a turn now instead. Alright, so the turn in slow motion is 3, 4, 3, low 4, 3, low 2, 3. I think I like to do regular 2 there as well. And then low 2 here. I don't know why, it just sounds right. Alright, hopefully that makes sense. Again, it's in super slow-mo. 3, low 4, 3, 2, 3. And then a similar thing, starting low 2 for the next phrase. 2, low 2, 3, low 2, 1, low 2. There's the turn in slow motion. Okay, so now I'm going to do the entire third quarter very slowly. Even more slowly. Faster. And then I don't think I do much for the fourth quarter. It's kind of busy enough. So I'm now going to just very slowly play all the variations for the B part. Here we go. And so on. Kitty, what's up? What's up, buddy? My cat is always hungry. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, and then one last suggestion. You can once you get these variations I did down, you can try them on the lower octave. Ooh, I like it down there. Seems almost easier to play. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful, fun, and instructive. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Pat yourself on the back. I should give you a little ribbon or trophy for doing that. Not a lot of people make it to the end. Not a lot of people see it through. So, thank you. Thanks for watching.